Hi everybody, Traci Cornelius here. I'd like to welcome you to week 33 of the pregnancy. So we are on our 7-week countdown, which is pretty cool. Good news is I am actually feeling a lot better, which is brilliant. Bit washed out, as you can see, but so much better than I was, which is making things a lot easier, especially with the pregnancy as well. So week 33, it seems to really be moving on pretty quickly right now. There is a marked difference for this week and a number of symptoms. So firstly, I'm pretty sure the baby has moved position. Reason I'm thinking that is because I'm not needing to urinate as often, especially in the night, which is fantastic. Also, where I'm feeling the movements is in different places within my body as well. I do have a midwife appointment next week, so obviously she'll check the baby's position at that point in time as well. So the other reason why I think that she may have moved position is because there is a lot of pressure on the right hand side at the back. Excuse me, if I sit too long getting up, it is quite interesting. And that's also put added pressure onto the body and, you know, meant things like constipation and that type of thing, which is again a natural kind of symptom that you'll have at the latter parts of pregnancy. However, the biggest marked difference, I think, again, is in movement. So it's not that she moves less, it's the fact that when she's moving there is a lot more pressure. So you can obviously, now when she moves, my stomach moves out in various positions, so especially when she's moving across this side and going up underneath the ribs, it's not exactly painful. You can just feel the pressure. It's a strange sensation, but you can pretty much see all movements now. There isn't any that's kind of hidden within, if that makes sense. Also, the length of time that she's moving again has increased, even from last week, so the awake cycles are lasting a lot longer. That's actually been really good, because although the awake cycles are longer, it's actually meant that during the night she's sleeping for longer, so therefore I'm sleeping for longer, which is extremely helpful, because I was getting very, very tired and fatigued and that type of thing. So yeah, that's a really good relief. Other parts that I've noticed, things like my skin is getting a lot drier, and also the skin on my face is a much poorer quality than it has been previously. Could be a number of things in that. I mean, don't forget, I've been ill for nearly 3 weeks now. That's a very long time. So it could be down to that. It could also be down to the increase in the baby's growth, because that really does take it out of you. So don't be surprised again if from, well, in fact, probably for about the next 4 weeks of experiencing extreme tiredness and fatigue. At this stage, a baby is putting on about ½ a pound a week. It then does slow down again for about the last 4 weeks. So the next 4 weeks there is a lot of growth, and yeah, a lot of fat storage that will go down, all of those type of things, which is all very exciting. Other things that I've really noticed, my hair. Can't really do much with my hair at the moment. I mean, you can probably tell it looks like such a mess, but this is an odd thing that happens, because this happened when I was pregnant with Alina as well. Can you see that my hair is quite wavy? I do not have wavy hair. My hair is very, very straight, very heavy, that type of thing. On the latter parts of my pregnancy with Alina, my hair went wavy, and it's happened again this time. I really can't explain why. It's just one of those things, and then after the baby it just goes back to being straight. But it is also growing at a much quicker rate than when I'm not pregnant. So I do tend to find that my nails and hair and things like that grow. Usually my skin's also pretty good, but like I mentioned, skin at the moment not so good. So other parts that are continuing, as I mentioned last week, I'm taking the raspberry leaf tea, and you can see that on week 32 I have a whole chart on the blog with regards to how many to take and when. We're still on 1 capsule daily at the moment, and then next week we up that to 2, and then it continues upping bi-weekly until the baby is due, basically. What else can I tell you for this week? Again, a lot of things are with regards to preparation. That would be normal. Weight gain, I have put on a little bit of weight. That's really not surprising because of how much the baby is growing. So that just, shows that she's extremely healthy and all the rest of it. Things that I'm having to up are how much water I'm drinking. I seem to be getting very dehydrated extremely quickly at the moment. Again, that could also be partly down to the increase in growth. There are things also happening for the baby, not just the growth as in like the fat produce that they're putting down so that they get like a lot plumper and more pink and looking a bit more like a baby than a wrinkly little alien. But also things like their fingernails are really growing at the moment. You could even find that at this stage they've got a full head of hair. So there is a lot going on for the baby even now. It's not just a case of, well, they're just getting bigger and putting fat storage down. There's still a lot of growth within their bodies, and therefore a lot of nutrients are being taken from you. I'm still taking my pregnancy multivitamin. I have that, and also the omega 3 and 6 capsule that goes with it, which is also pretty good. Breast growth has slowed down this week, which is good, just purely because they're getting quite large for me. So there hasn't been a lot of growth in that respect. There just seems to be a lot more growth in the baby bump. So I'll show you what I mean. I feel physically as if I have tripled in size. I haven't, obviously, but the baby is a lot bigger, and it's a lot more around here. And also for the first time in any of my pregnancies, I would say that I'm beginning to do the pregnancy waddle. I've never really had that before. That could be because of the extra growth. It could also be because of the position that she's actually lying, and the pressure that she's putting on. But I do find myself having my legs further apart when I'm walking, just purely because that's more comfortable. So attractive. So that's pretty much it for this week. Again, there's not a huge, there's not these mass amounts of changes or added symptoms that come. Actually, there is another one, actually 2 that I forgot to mention. Braxton Hicks. So we've spoken about Braxton Hicks for the last few weeks. They are, at the moment, for me personally, a lot stronger. Really strong. So that's giving me a chance to practice my breathing techniques. I have already started doing my hypnobirthing. Now, hypnobirthing is basically just a way of having relaxation during labour, and how to breathe through contractions and that type of thing. It's one of those things, it's controversial. Some people absolutely swear blind by it. Some people turn around and say it's too much like hippie voodoo type stuff, and you know, how's that going to work? Actually, deep breathing has many benefits. I mean, you can do the research. I'll again have some links on the blog for you to see about that. But for me personally, I also know it's the concentration. It's that really kind of focusing so that you don't panic, that things don't feel like they're getting out of control, because panicking means that you take shorter breaths, you get less oxygen to the baby. Less oxygen to the baby into your body means less oxytocin and that type of thing, which is your natural pain relief. So actually the breathing is very important. And although that you might see on the films and everything that there's like all this panting of going that is not advised in pregnancy and labour whatsoever. The only time that you would have that is literally right at the very last stages, when you're pushing the baby out, and you might need to do shorter breaths to make sure that you don't tear. But apart from that, trying to get as much oxygen naturally, so it's like a natural flow of breath into your body, is much better. So hypnobirthing, it's I think it's Maggie Howell, I will check that and I'll put the links into the blog, is one of the ones that I listen to. And I've had an app that I've used for the last 3 pregnancies now, by Andrew, can't remember his surname, Scottish guy. So again, I'll pop that into the blog and do a link to that one as well. And I'll have that, the one by Andrew I tend to fall asleep to, because there is a whole way that you can either do it, that the meditation is for waking or sleeping. So yes, so those are the things that I have started to do in preparation, just to mentally get prepared for the labour, practice the breathing techniques. It's also helping because when the Braxton Hicks are intense, it means that I can practice those breathing techniques. And they are that intense that it will make me stop. So it's not something that's just minor. And again, the pressure, if I just show you, even from the Braxton Hicks, it will start from here, and it has like a pushing down motion, and it's just uncomfortable. It's not massively painful, not like a huge full-on contraction. It's just very uncomfortable and quite intense for a while. And I'm finding that that will last, for me personally, it usually happens once or twice a day, and it will be about 15 minutes. Doesn't tend to last much longer than that at present, but that's one of the symptoms that has maybe progressed. The other part is discharge. There's a lot more discharge at the moment. Again, that's perfectly natural, and that can continue. It can also happen that your Braxton Hicks contractions also relate to the discharge, so they kind of like work hand in hand. I'm not worried about any of it. Basically, it just means that my body is getting ready and practicing ready for labour. So all of it is really good signs. And like I said, it means that I can practice the breathing techniques. And if you're a first-time mum, then it just means that you've got a slight indication of what's to come. And a lot of the times, if the Braxton Hicks get quite intense, people can mistake that for early labour. So here is the advice that a lot of midwives and doctors and things like that give. If you're experiencing intense Braxton Hicks contractions, they will normally be under a minute. It also means that if you change activity, they can stop. So if you've been sitting for a long time, then go and stand up. If you've been stood up for a long time, go and sit down. A warm bath can ease them. If you were to take a paracetamol, then that would ease them, that type of thing. So those ones are really good indications to know the difference between having Braxton Hicks contractions that are quite intense as opposed to actual early labour. Again, I'll put all information on the blog at tracycornelius.com and a number of different links so that you can see where the professional part of that information has come from. The NHS website is a really good resource for everything to do with early labour, what to take to hospital, all of those type of things. The hospital bag and everything else we're going to cover in week 36, which is only 3 weeks away. It seems crazy. Like now, it really doesn't seem like it's very far away at all, and she's going to be here soon. It's getting exciting. So yeah, so there we go. That's for week 33. I will have a countdown again for the baby preparation. We've done a few more things. There was one where we got the new buggy, so do check that one out. I haven't done the review as of yet. We are testing that buggy extensively to give you a really, really good review, and that will be up soon. So apart from that, take care guys, and I will speak to you again next week. Bye.